Ever wonder how you can pre-assign breakout rooms in Zoom? Well, I'm going to walk you through step by step how to actually pre-assign breakout rooms, from your settings to actually how to do it in Zoom. And then I'm also going to talk about some good times when you should think about pre-assigning breakout rooms, and some lessons I've learned from events that I've actually done where pre-assigning might not actually be the best solution for you. So stick around. Before I walk you through exactly how to pre-assign those breakout rooms in Zoom, I do want to remind you to like, subscribe, turn on that little notification bell so you get notified every single Monday when I drop new videos. I'm also Logan Clements, a freelance event producer. I should have probably said that earlier. So I love to make videos with tips about Zoom, virtual events, event production, running your own business, any and all those topics. Comment below if there's a specific video that you're looking for. But without further ado, let's get back into it. So one of the features of Zoom is that you can use breakout rooms. And if you're an organizer, there's actually a feature in there where you can pre-assign breakout rooms, meaning ahead of even starting your meeting, you can have already assigned breakout rooms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do it. So first, I'm going to have you open up your Zoom. But all right, so here I am in Zoom and I own this meeting. And so what I see now down here at the bottom is I see breakout rooms. And so you can see here, you can recreate one breakout room. I can assign automatically, manually, or let participants choose. So here is, if you've never heard of breakout rooms, that is where you will find it. If you are the host or co-host of a meeting, you will also see this in your features. If you are not the co-host or host, you will not see this feature unless they've allowed you to choose your own breakout rooms. But now that you know where it is, I will have you go over to your zoom.com. And one of the nuances with Zoom is that certain features are in the actual Zoom application, or like the Zoom meeting that you're actually using. And certain certain settings are only available in what I call the back end, but what I would say is really just the browser version of zoom.com. So there are a few things you need to check if you want to be able to pre-assign breakout rooms for an upcoming meeting. All right, and then I could set the time for it, do all the different things, waiting room required, and then here's where you'll see meeting options. Allow participants to join anytime, mute participants, breakout room pre-assigned. So if I check this box, what it will now allow me to do is either manually create rooms or import from CSV. So if I just want to manually create rooms, I can just add a room by clicking the plus sign. So there's a tiny little plus right there. I click it and I can just add participants. Now, the hard part is, here is where you need to add people's email addresses. So I have my Logan at loganstrategygroup.com, and then I can hit, and it'll drop down. Look, see, Logan, this email's been added. All right, so now I've hit save. I just have one room. But at any time ahead of starting this meeting, I can click edit and I can delete. Now, if you want to import from CSV, it is really nice that Zoom gives you a template, and this just tells you how they want you to put it as first name, last name, and usually email address. But here's what I just want to make is so crucial for you as the organizer. The unique identifier for pre-assigning breakout rooms that Zoom uses is not the name, it's the email address. So the kicker here is you might have some people who RSVP for your event with one email address, but then their Zoom account is linked to a different Zoom or a different email address. And so if I am johnsmith@gmail.com, but I also have a john@companyabc.com, and I gave you my john@companyabc.com, but my Zoom account is linked with johnsmith@gmail.com, Zoom is not smart enough yet to figure out that those two people are the same people. So what you'll find is John Smith does not get sorted. We'll get back to that, so keep a pin in that. But here, just if you wanted to, if you had a lot of people, I've had some events where we've had 200 people that we want to pre-assign. I recommend downloading their template, formatting your Excel sheet to match exactly what they're looking for, and then you can drag and drop, and it will create up to 50 breakout rooms for you, which is amazing. So then all you have to do is hit save, and it will save your breakout rooms just as you just did them. Now, if you're someone who's not seeing that option when you go to open a meeting, again, I'm on a pro account here with this. So what you want to do is you want to scroll down in your actual meeting settings. You can see they toggled on in Zoom, the magic color is blue, so you want it from gray to blue. And then you need to make sure that this is checked. Allow hosts to assign participants to breakout rooms when scheduling. So if you are not seeing any of those earlier steps, you need to go here to your settings and make sure it's checked. And it will say, here's the little Zoom helper that just says you have to have version 4.5 or later. So if you need to update your Zoom, just check for the Zoom updates, and it takes real quick. Just download it, and then you'll be able to see this feature. So that's what you need to have in your back end just to ensure that you're seeing what I was seeing on the front end. So now you can see in my Zoom, I have a test meeting. So I'm going to hit start test meeting. Now that I've started the test meeting, I can no longer go back in and pre-assign breakout rooms. But what you're going to see here is I can see my little icon that says breakout rooms, and I will see, you won't actually see me in it because I am the host. And so one of the things as a host is you will not get automatically sorted if you do these rooms. But this is where you would see all of your rooms and you would see everybody who is assigned. So here's where it gets really interesting. I have found that pre-assigned breakout rooms are great for helping you sort large groups. And I would define large groups probably as anybody over 40 people would be a large group in Zoom. It helps you save time on having to actually sort people into their respective rooms. And this is especially if you have a client or you're doing an event that you want 15 or 20 rooms. It's going to take a lot of time for you to manually sort those people. So the Zoom pre-sorting breakout function is very helpful for this because you can import, like I showed you, that big Excel sheet of all of the email addresses and assign all the rooms. But the big caveat I have for you is because so many people don't know that link between the email addresses, and even if you ask them, they're probably not going to understand the difference. You are going to find that a lot of people that you pre-sort once you're in Zoom and you open the rooms actually are going to show up as unassigned, even though you know that you sorted John Smith into room 7. It's going to show John Smith as unassigned, and it's often because of that email address confusion. So what I would do if you are planning on using the pre-assigned breakout room function, make sure you're not doing it right at the beginning of your event in Zoom or your meeting or your webinar or whatever it is. Just make sure you give yourself some time to do, I would call it cleanup, after Zoom does a lot of the hard work for you and will auto sort anybody whose email corresponds to their Zoom account email, but you will need some time to go through and manually sort people. An alternative solution I found is that you just manually sort people entirely. So what I call it is like kind of the fake pre-assigned. To an attendee, it'll feel exactly the same as using Zoom's automatic function, but for you as the organizer, it gives you a little bit higher touch and you can go through and add people. Again, I don't recommend that if you have a very large event. Anything that's over 50 will probably take a lot of time. I had an event where we had about 80 people and we tried to help them manually sort themselves, and it ended up taking a lot more time than we thought. So I think you can definitely do it. I just recommend giving yourself at least 15 minutes from your event start time to when you'd want to go in that first iteration of breakouts to give you time on the back end to make sure everyone goes where they need to go. Now, on the other side of things, if you just want to randomly sort people into rooms and you don't care who goes where, that's great. Zoom is so good at that function of just letting you kind of randomly mix and match people. But I'm finding more and more often that clients are looking to have assigned specific groups for breakouts. And so that is one that I would make sure if you're going to do the pre-assigned version that you just give yourself time before the event to make sure everything's formatted correctly and loaded into the back end of your Zoom. And then I would have time baked into your event while things are happening on screen for the attendees where you are then going through and sorting manually. Hopefully this was a helpful video for you about how to pre-assign breakout rooms in Zoom and some of the common mishaps and misconceptions that can happen and the challenges and a couple solutions for how you can make it work at your next Zoom meeting or Zoom event. I'm Logan Clements, freelance event producer, and this has been another installment of my favorite tips and tricks when it comes to virtual events, event production, Zoom, and running your own business. Talk to you guys again next Monday. Bye.